see a penny, pick it up, all the day you'll have good luck. If only it were that easy. Well, I suppose if it were that easy, there wouldn't be any more stray pennies littered on the streets. Everyone would snatch them up the moment they saw them and enjoy 24 hours of good luck. Instead, pennies are like the black sheep of America's coin collection, practically worthless hunks of copper and zinc that just weigh down our pockets. It may only be a silly superstition that pennies bring good luck, and it might be a waste of my time, not to mention a hazard to my health, to pick them up off the street, but I'm willing to take that risk. And you have no idea how willing. I could be biking through the middle of a busy intersection, and if my eagle eyes spot a penny, I have to pick it up. You know that saying about people who can stop on a dime? Well, so can I, only with pennies. Anyway, I like to think of it as a daily ritual that might someday reverse a lifetime trend of bad luck. And I sure as hell could use some good luck this morning. It's April 30th, 2007, and I'm standing on the corner of Beverly and Fairfax in Los Angeles in a long line that's wrapped around the block and that isn't moving anywhere. Don't get me wrong, this isn't going to be some sob story about my time on Skid Row. No, I'm outside CBS Television City waiting for a taping of my favorite game show. I made the trek from Oregon to Southern California to pursue a childhood dream, to hear the words, "Jimmy Radosta, come on down. You're the next contestant on The Price is Right." And I want to hear those words before the end of this season, when Bob Barker will retire as host, a role he has filled for my entire life. The show has just turned 35, and so have I. I truly believe I was born to come on down, so to increase my odds of getting selected as a contestant, I printed up this t-shirt. Bob has held a special place in my esteem since I was a child. I grew up in a non-religious household, so my holy trinity wasn't the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. No, it was Bob Barker, Casey Kasem, and Andy Rooney. I admired these leathery faces with buttery voices because they had my dream jobs: game show host, disc jockey, and professional curmudgeon. Every Sunday would start with Casey Kasem counting down the week's top 40 singles and would end with Andy Rooney on 60 Minutes bitching about stuff that's bothering him. But Bob Barker, he was the shit. A randy charmer with a disdain for overbids and a passion for homeless pets. I first became a game show nut in the mid-'70s when my great aunt, Camilla Piazza, convinced 4 of her children to join her on Family Feud. When Richard Dawson came down the line to flirt with my cousin Joanne, he was curious about the bulb of garlic she brought along. She said, "That's an ancient Sicilian good luck charm. We're Sicilian." Now, this was back in the golden days of inappropriate game show behavior and way before political correctness. So, upon learning about my family's ethnic heritage, the host's first instinct, naturally, was to crack a mobster joke. He said, "You're all Sicilian, huh? What are we gonna do about Elliot Ness?" The Piazzas humored him with a courtesy laugh. But unfortunately, my family's Sicilian superstition didn't do the trick because we lost on the final round's question. Name a car made in England. My cousin Joanne blurted out, "Mercedes-Benz?" And the audience laughed at her cluelessness. Then my cousin Lawrence made the same mistake. "BMW?" Richard Dawson sneered into the camera, "Very interesting. They have named 2 German cars. I think we found the spies that were sending the signals during the war." So maybe garlic doesn't always guarantee good luck, but perhaps this morning I can tap into the luck of the Irish from my mom's side of the family. I've been warned that CBS gives out many more tickets than the studio can hold and that you need to get in line the night before to ensure your entry. But the soonest I could get here was 1 a.m. So a few weeks ago, I went online and found a guy named William J. Faulkner III, who was willing to reserve my place in line in exchange for a couple of my spare tickets. I would go to the morning taping and he would go to the afternoon taping. I was excited to finally meet him. I mean, to be willing to camp out for a shot at The Price is Right, I assumed that this Faulkner fellow must be just as much of a fanatic as I am. He offered me a can of beer, and I tried to strike up a conversation with him about the show until I looked into his dilated pupils. He told me, dude, I just want to get picked to come on down so I can bid 420 on everything. Seriously, what, was 69 already taken? No fucking respect. I've been keeping to myself ever since, but now we're starting to move, so it looks like the producer is going to come down the line to finally interview us. You've only got a few seconds to stand out among a crowd of hundreds, so I'm hoping to tell him something like this. I've been waiting my whole life for this moment. When I was a kid on summer vacation while at home watching The Price is Right, I would grab my Mr. Microphone and pretend I was Bob Barker. When I was at YMCA summer camp, I hammed it up in a sketch playing a nauseated game show host named Bob Barfer. My favorite game was Super Ball, so every time we were at an amusement park, I would look for a skee-ball machine so I could practice for the day when I'd be a contestant on The Price is Right. I was born to come on down. Wait, here he comes. Oh, he wants to know what I do for a living. Shit, well, don't tell him you're a journalist. The network probably has a policy against members of the media being contestants. I'm an aspiring writer. What am I working on? A screenplay? Good luck, kid. Before I know it, he's moved down the line to the next person. My moment is gone. I'm so exhausted from pulling an all-nighter that I flubbed my lines. My disappointment is short-lived, though, because the taping is about to start. The announcer has warmed up the crowd, and by the time Bob emerges from behind door number 2, the atmosphere has escalated into a full-fledged frenzy. I haven't felt this excited since my first Madonna concert. Suddenly, I can empathize with all those faith healer followers who start speaking in tongues when they get near their Messiah. I scream my head off as one of Barker's beauties hands him his signature skinny microphone. For a few fleeting moments, I am in ecstasy. The first half of the show whizzes by. Now we're in a commercial break and Bob is answering questions from the audience. This is my opportunity to say all the words that I wish I'd told the producer. My last chance at telling Bob how much he's meant to me for my entire life. Hi Bob. How come you guys don't play Super Ball anymore? I choked again! For what it's worth, Bob explained that the producers decided to retire that game for unknown reasons. Another missed opportunity. My story gets worse from there. When I came home from California, I had this email message waiting for me from Faulkner, the stoner. Yo, thanks again for the tics. I got on and won a fucking jacuzzi and digital camera. Have a good day. Motherfucker! The show aired a month later, and even though I didn't want to witness this travesty of justice, I tuned in just to see if he went through with his scheme. As promised, every time he was asked for his bid, he would smirk and say, 420, Bob. When that didn't work, he tried a new strategy. Bob, I'd like to bid 1,420. Somehow, he made it up on stage and won himself a hot tub. When this clown can wind up a prize winner, when a lifelong viewer goes home empty-handed, it just goes to prove that some guys get all the breaks. I guess I'm gonna need a lot more than pennies to even the score. This is just my luck.